gosh, dude! What a weekend of racing.
Yes, we are quite hungover over the weekend of racing, right, Bob? I guess. And look at that. We've got Rexy from the Be Forever Cool podcast.
Yeah.
Look at him. Like, he's way cooler than either of us.
I was commenting a while back when you were starting out your podcast in the trailer.
Yeah.
You were doing it in your trailer. So
yeah, fun times.
Yeah. I think I had checked in with you. That was about a year ago.
Yeah.
A little over a year ago.
Yeah.
Because I think it was getting back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So I had just got done when we filmed the movie 22. Yeah, we filmed the movie in 22. So it was after we filmed the movie, like put the racing on hold. So yeah, it was cool, man. Yeah, I was watching these down at Homestead with your homie on your KTM 390.
Yeah.
So we got our buddy Smitty in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah?
What's up, Smitty? What's up?
Oh shit, Smitty's in the chat.
Yep.
There goes the neighborhood.
You guys are in the same movie together, man. That's pretty dope.
God, dude, that guy's he's like another one of those weird Honda guys. I don't know. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I helped him out with his Honda, getting him some telling him what the quality parts are for.
Did you see Rexy, did you see Daniel Goodnight's comment?
Nah.
Daniel Goodnight says he thought he had that we had Malcolm Smith in this.
Malcolm Stewart.
Malcolm Stewart. That's what it meant.
Malcolm Stewart.
Okay.
AKA Mookie, AKA
I saw that. I was like, what, dude? Yeah.
Bubba's younger brother.
Right. I gotta grow my dreads out.
Yeah,
bro.
Hey, listen, man. Dude won in Tampa, and he was on a good one. That was awesome.
Say again?
When Mookie won in Tampa, that was a legit, like that was his home round. I watched Supercross, so
right.
That was a big deal.
Nah, you bring that up and shout out to Smitty because he had brought up Malcolm Stewart and the brother with Alex and Mark. And I was telling Smitty, like, it's usually the younger brother or the younger sibling that's, outshine the older sibling kind of thing.
Yep.
So
I think we lost your camera, bud.
Where'd he go, dude?
Right.
Dude, he was like right in the middle of some good shit too.
No kidding.
There he is.
One of my cameras is not happy, apparently.
Taco Bell internet, dude.
Taco Bell internet. But in their case, it's the older brother that's both Mark and Bubba.
Yeah.
Both champs.
So we just had a pretty epic most weekend at World Superbike, World Superbike, World Super Sport. I don't really give a crap about the other races. So
300.
Sure.
Yeah. Sport 300.
Well, this was a year ago. We had work boots on who had just got back from Most.
That's
right. And we were lucky enough to have Hayden Gillum on the show, commenting on his whole weekend, and we kind of got a bird's eye view of his experience here, which was awesome. He's
a Rye helmet trauma.
Yep. And that's right. Because he couldn't wear the one he brought with him.
Yeah, because the American Arise aren't FIM standard, right?
Which is weird.
Which
is weird. But that was a great story. We had some really good racing. But first, I definitely want to hear about all the posts I've been seeing about Podium Club and an epic track days weekend.
Buddy, that's why I'm rocking the Podium Club shirt. I really love those people there, and I love riding on that racetrack and having that 6-gear straight that goes down to first. It's like, you're still alive. That's right. Yep. You're still alive, right? Yeah, we had a good time. We had regular track days, just like always, but we also had some of the social media nerds come out and ride with us.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? Like it was fun. Like I got to ride with them and work with some of them, coach them. Some of them had never been on the track before.
That's awesome.
There was a couple that had. I made a little video about it today, but it was at the dog park. But there's this kid. He's wearing like a helmet the whole weekend. Like every time we saw him in the pit, and he was like, Rexy, he was like a Pop Warner kid who just got his shoulder pads. Like, all right, we're going to the mall now, right? It was like that, dude. So into
Is
the
that a
weekend.
thing?
What'd you say?
Is that a thing? Because I go to when I go to race or anything, as soon as I get off the track, I get out my suit.
Oh yeah.
But there's some people that they put on their suit in the morning and at the winner's circle and trophy give out, they're still in their suit. Is that a thing for riders to stay in their suit?
Dude, sometimes it is. I'm not talking about his suit, bro. I'm talking about he had the shoulders hanging down on the suit and the tank top's hanging out, and he's still wearing his helmet.
Nice.
You know, and at the end of the weekend, like, you know, it was Sunday afternoon. Like we're starting to wrap things up for the day, and the dude was still wearing like a baklava, like to cover up his face. And I guess like the helmeted creators don't want any pictures of them out because that kind of ruins the.
Oh, they have a helmet.
They're like the guys that. Yeah, so you know, and I like Jixer Bra is an example, right? Like he's a helmeted character too, and you know, but like when he's hanging out, he doesn't have his helmet on, dude. So we talk, and then he puts his helmet on, and you know, even when I did that 2-up ride with him a couple of months ago, he was talking, and I'm like, are you talking to yourself again? You know?
Oh, because like he has his car.
Yeah, he's got all his stuff, and he just talks into the camera all the time. You know, like that's what they do. So,
so wild.
But yeah, I rode with him too. Like that dude's like the best way I could describe Jixer Bra is like a human cartoon. Yeah, like a real life cartoon character. That guy is hilarious. You know, I don't care what anybody says about that guy. I think he's hilarious. I gave Matt Woods a 2-up ride this time. That dude has like, I don't know, 2.8 million followers on TikTok.
Wow. Jeez.
Like, what, dude? So
it's because you gotta be a very unique individual to head to guard. It's just like any actor or anybody. When you meet them in real life, they are not chill everyday people. Very few are. Yeah. I met Breckenmeyer at a Bare Naked Ladies concert, and he was a super chill dude. He was super nice. He was probably one of the most normal people, but everybody else is like, they're just dorks or they're really weird. Not saying anything bad about it, but that's what makes them unique and able to do what they do.
Yeah.
Right. They're entertainers.
You know, I mean, and I'll say this, you know, that we had Mad Maxie there, Max Wrist, and Stay-In 420, I think is his name.
Oh,
Gary.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like Eddie, Adam, and Gary. Like
yeah.
And you know what, man? Like they're all. We did this goofy little bit with our R3 called the reasonably priced Superbike, and I let those guys burn laps on the R3 too. It's like, huh? So we'll see how it goes.
I can't wait to see it.
I'm not going to tell anybody the times, but I will say that I got the slowest. I'm Captain Slow on the R3.
Good.
My choice.
Dude, you know what? It's a weird thing to go out, and I don't really ride those things. You know, the instructors typically are riding them, and I've never really been a 300 guy or whatever. So like the whole shtick was to go out and do like 3 or 4 laps on the thing and come in. And so I did that, and I was like, nah.
Yeah, I'm not pushing this thing.
I'm like, why is this thing not my bike? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I coached on a Ninja 650, and it had old tires, and it was just an older bike, and I went out and I was ripping on it, man. I tucked the front probably like 2 times going into turn 8 at CMP, which is the super fast banked right-hander, and you're ripping through there. And I was like, ooh, this isn't my bike. It's a buddy's bike. He let me borrow it. And I was like, this is so sketchy.
Not my bike, not my tires, the classic story.
Oh, right? Dude, it was like, they were old, hard, like tires, street tires.
Yeah, the R3, you know, it's a neat little bike. You know, it's like, it's definitely like a entry-level sport bike. And, you know, the thing I noticed about it is just the bars are pretty high versus this low seat height. And it just felt weird to me. And, you know, I'm used to evil motorbikes that do bad things on, and I
Yeah.
try to make them do bad things. And the R3, I couldn't make it do anything bad. It was so nice to me. I was just like, whatever.
Just want to treat it nice,
Yeah.
Don't want to flog it.
You got to spend a whole season on it. I was racing. I still race my R6, but I have a couple of 2K. I have 2KTMs that I race now, so I'm a fan of the smaller bikes these days.
You're a 390 guy?
Yeah, I am.
You have two because you gotta have one as a spare, right? In case the head gets closed, you gotta have a spare.
Yeah, you need a spare. Motors, you got to deal with the motors a lot for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Didn't you go down to NOLA last year when they had the big rainstorm with the Pan Am Superbike race?
I did. Yeah.
My buddy Patrick Hani was down there with his Honda. Yeah, he's the 843 Honda.
Okay.
So we worked with those guys. The event was fun. Like, Podium Club is rad. I like riding there. We're going to go back there in October. And hopefully in October, there won't be like multiple track days in the area happening the same weekend. Because that sucks.
Oh, yeah. It kind of like pulls everybody apart.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, you gotta coordinate all that so everybody maximizes their entry list.
Times. Yeah. Okay, so moving forward, a couple of things really quick on the agenda, even though they're not really on the agenda. I just got a text message from Stan Boley. And they were testing yesterday and today at Mid-Ohio.
Oh.
And trying some things. And he says, obviously they had some traffic because it's a track day. So they had to deal with that.
They're like, that's right. I did see like Hayden
he
Gill
says,
was up there.
He said it was cold and it drizzled today. And he says, just like it has been since the AMA days, Mid-Ohio is very sensitive to weather.
Yeah.
So
it's
and then
even with the repave.
I got a picture of the rig, like
what?
The rig. He's like, that picture was yesterday. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That truck has always been, everybody was like, if there is any dew in the air, you are not going out on slicks.
Right.
Because it is so slippery.
Yeah. So like I was in the desert and it was like 90 and he was at Mid-Ohio and it was like whatever.
60s.
Right.
That's funny. So he was number 44, but 843 with where okay, so that's track day junkie is Patrick. So
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anywho, we had Most. What a great weekend of racing. It was really close racing. Obviously the top two guys are Bulaga and Razgatlioglu. My old thing with that race, all three races, was Toprak was riding the wheels off that thing.
Yes.
And, coming off Cremona where he was, second for 3 races in a row and it's eating him up inside. It is.
Yeah.
That dude
does not like losing.
No.
At all.
He hates losing. Like
I think it's a Turkish thing because Chad and his brother they get on second place and it's like they finish last.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, and Keenan was notoriously adamant.
Emotional.
And
yeah.
You could see when he's riding, his body language changed when he went from first to second, like when he was racing PJ.
Right.
And you watch how aggressive he was just to get ahead of PJ. He was like, F it, I'm going to send this thing right up the middle, and I don't care. I don't care how I end up. I am getting in front of you.
Dude, he's got that lunatic style, too, where he just, like, with the front brake lever, dude, there's nobody that matches him. Nobody. No. You saw Bulaga. I think it was in the sprint race. Bulaga kind of, like...
He blew turn one. Like
blew
2-3
one
times.
And took a shortcut, right?
Yeah.
So...
And like he hung on to the first one and he went way wide and then Toprak went around him and then he tried to do it again and then did that.
Yeah.
Straight on the shortcut road.
That's rough, dude. Like trying to outbrake Toprak's got to be a chore in that class, right?
Oh yeah.
Doesn't matter who it is.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys think his brake setup is like? Because he was doing it on the Yamaha as well. So and no one is doing it on the BMW.
No,
Yeah, I mean, he I remember on the Yamaha, and I'm sure the BMW has some sort of Brembo, World Superbike calipers, and I remember the Yamaha guy talking about it. And obviously, since they've upgraded the calipers, he probably doesn't have that high, but at the time, he had, what was he, like 22 bar? Like, he like 22 bar of pressure on the front brake lever, like
just
like what,
mashing
dude?
it.
Yeah. So
Mashing
no
it.
wonder he was bending the steering head of the frame,
Oh yeah.
right?
And not tucking the front as soon as he goes in on the corner. Like he's
Yeah.
still able to bleed off all that pressure and still maintain
Yeah.
grip.
Yeah, he can
And
have the rear wheel way up in the air, leg off, like barely on the motorcycle, and somehow he's able to get the thing backed in. He backs it in with it in the air like that somehow, and I don't know. Like he must be really good at the unicycle thing,
right. It's all the time at Keenan's kart
He's like
track.
a circus carny.
Yeah,
Something.
all of them are.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, there was one time where he going into turn one, he jammed on the brakes on Bulaga, and the bike, the BMW snapped. And I mean, I give credit to Bulaga because I probably would have tucked the front seeing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was impressive that Bulaga still. I mean, I guess they expected how much he can scrub speed off in like a second or two.
Yeah. You know what? Another thing I'm noticing about World Superbike, and actually to some extent World Super Sport too, like our guys in the United States, it looks like they get going in the middle of the race. There's like a drop off a little bit, and they
Mhm.
kind of maintain, and then you see the ramping up towards the end, if they can. Whereas over there, dude, it is like, I mean, the lap time's crazy. I mean, it's like they're doing their fastest laps are like about the same first to the end. Like sometimes they're putting their fastest lap on the last lap.
Super consistent.
Right?
Super
So
consistent.
they're murdering from flag to flag, dude. How are they able to carry that level of intensity for so long?
Oh,
Right?
it just puts in question like how that's going to translate in 2027 for MotoGP when they do this swap of tires. So that's going to be interesting.
And really quick, we do have a comment from one of the Peanut Gallery, Brady Bunch guys from the Be Forever Cool podcast. So Smith Shot's saying about Top Rack being the circus stunt rider. I think Nate Kern was talking about that when we had him on, and like he did those circus type stunts when he was a kid, and that's probably part of the reason why he's able to ride the way he does. But you look at Keenan's brother on a 300.
No.
He's like on a Ninja 400. It's a Safoglu kid.
No,
they're not related.
No, Manhattan. No, Manhattan
is that like
related. It's his cousin.
Okay.
Or his nephew. No, it's his nephew.
Yeah.
It's his nephew.
So that kid, if you've seen that kid's videos on the go-kart track on a stripped down like Ninja 400 or something, it's the same style. It's like that. It's like that brutality,
Mm-hmm. Just
so
destroying bikes. They
thoughts, Rexy?
Manhattan is actually Manhattan's in World Superbike.
Yeah.
He moved up. Yeah, he was on the MV Agusta, and then he moved up. He's on the Yamaha with ex World Superbike rider Tito Rabat.
Oh, didn't Tito just got him and his team just broke up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
5 rounds.
Yeah, I think it's impressive how I've seen some videos of them training Top Rack and Chad and these guys. It seems like they put the bikes through some paces and they're okay with coming together and stuff like that and crashing out. It seems like they balls out in training. And we see it in actually World Superbike and World Super Sport. It's pretty impressive what they're doing, because I feel like they're the closest thing to competing with this the Spaniards are doing over there with riding and stuff like that compared to the Americans or the Brits.
Right. Do you think that kind of training program needs to open up out here? Like, come out here and learn how to be a murderer.
I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know if these kids could take that kind of talk.
John Hopkins, man.
Yeah, dude. If
Hopkins.
anybody's gonna do it, Hopper's gonna pull that off for sure, right?
Yep.
I know O'Hara's doing something with Hopper up north too.
Oh,
NorCal.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I know.
Do you think that style of training it can happen with these American kids today?
Well, it's
Probably
how
not.
John Kaczynski got
To some extent.
But John Kaczynski got run through the ringer at Kenny's, at King Kenny's ranch. Like he was the youngest and he got beat up the most, and that's why he was as successful as he was
Did
in
he
250s.
beat up more than Curtis? I don't think so.
Oh, probably not, because Curtis was way younger, but still, like, you know, Wayne and
Beat up more than Rich Oliver.
those guys. So Wayne and
Different time.
yeah, and who else?
Yeah. Dude,
You know, all those guys in NorCal.
if most of the kids today went through that kind of program, there'd need to be a safe space or something.
Yes. Yes. Actually,
right?
if you listen to John Kaczynski's Gypsy Tales, he tells the story about all that stuff when he was there racing the mini flat track at King Kenny's ranch. So that's where, I mean, that you got it. If you can't handle that, you don't need to be at the world level racing. Period.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, that is the future, right? What those guys are doing and what the Europeans are doing, stuff like that. So, for young people, they have to be willing to put themselves through that at this point, because I think the days of I'll use Andre Agassi's dad, cranking up the ball machine at 100 miles an hour when you're 10 years old, to see what you can do.
So what you're saying is we got to get the kids interested in doing things besides this.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to have some hungry kids.
Yeah.
But for World Superbike, I think my notables for the race, obviously, Danilo Petrucci rocking the triple thirds.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. Sam Lowe's, I thought rode really well. And Remy Gardner.
He had third for a little bit in
he did
race 2, I think.
Yeah.
And Petrucci is like, nah.
Sam drops off just past halfway in the race. He just doesn't know how to manage the tire like everybody else. And that's just a tire management thing. You work with your strategies with your team, and you figure out, okay, how do we get this tire to last as long as possible with and just learning how to just ride that throttle. So but yeah, those are my notables for the race, for the whole weekend, really.
I mean, the notables for me are all the crashing. Like, number one, obviously Bautista, bowling ball Bautista. Like, I don't know.
Ricochet Bautista.
He was a pin. He wasn't a bowling ball. He was a pin.
Yeah, he was a Ricochet.
Yeah, so like he looked like he was a bit on the struggle bus this weekend.
Mm-hmm. He came through on race 1. He came from the back, and
from way back,
and he was
16th
but
to
he's
4th.
not quite putting it together for the whole weekend, and he hasn't in a while. Obviously, we talked about it off the show, but Johnny Ray tossing his thing down the road on the first day, for sure that hindered him. I mean, I keep hoping one weekend that guy's gonna get going.
He was going pretty good after the incident in turn 1. He actually rode pretty well until they gave him that 2.5 second or that double ride through penalty for the Ricochet. So, but if you didn't have that, Johnny Ray was top 6, top 7.
Right.
So I think for him coming off the injury was pretty solid.
If he didn't do it, he wouldn't be 6 or 7 though. So.
Yeah,
100%.
True story.
One of the big takeaways is Petrucci and what he was able to do, and the bigger thing is just Ducati in general, because I thought at the beginning of the season the Ducatis would have been closer. And we see Bulaga, we see Petrucci as the most consistent. I mean, great for Lowe's on the Duck doing what he's doing, but I feel like there's like 2 Ducatis that's doing really well out of the 6, and I feel bad for Noni, who crashed out in practice and wasn't able to get back. So I think that's one of the biggest takeaway is where the Ducatis are struggling, and it seems like Bulaga is really the only one that's really standing out. And I feel bad for Alvaro, because I know he wants to sign with Ducati for next year and stuff like that. But
he might have room if Bulaga goes to GP, right?
Yeah, right. That is a big rumor.
Yeah.
That really going to happen though?
I don't think they're going to keep Alvaro. I really don't. I think I think this is his last year.
Really?
Either he goes, I think he either goes down to an independent team, or he just
Alvaro is going to go to Go 11.
Hey, two titles. That doesn't mean anything.
No.
I mean, we should happen with what's happening.
You act surprised by that, Rexy. Like, dude, right? Like, oh yeah, dude, he won however many titles, but he hasn't done shit in a couple years. Like, bye. Like, that's normally right, like how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, last year he was a little bit on the struggle bus, and this year it's gotten worse. And if he's not fighting for wins,
I'm sure they want to win. That they want the red shirts definitely want their bikes in the front,
Yep.
And I don't know what the deal is in World Superbike, but like the last several years, I mean, with the exception of a couple of times Alvaro has shined, the last few years it's been one guy, right?
Yep.
It was Alvaro before, and then I mean, there's always like the one guy and then everyone else. And it's sort of happening with BMW as well, right? Like BMW has been nowhere until they hired Toprak, right? Like,
yep. Oh yeah.
And they definitely bought Toprak so they could get a number 1 plate.
Yep.
And they
got it. They got it.
And now they don't get the concession frame, and their rider is struggling. He's struggling but he's still in the second, right?
Yeah. But I mean, they're trying to figure it out. It's like you are kind of on the back foot and you don't have what you need. So that's kind of one of those things. Now, there was some rumors that they were going to kick Vandermark to the curb and bring somebody else in. And I'm trying to remember who it was.
I was surprised they kept him last year, in all honesty. Kept him for this year.
Yeah. I think they needed him, and I think they felt like they owed it to him from all the injuries. At least give him another shot. But it's like, hey, you've got a world champion. The other guy can be kind of around.
Is it like Nakagami with in the Mitsu? And we just
that's their close to German guy. They usually try to have somebody close to the nationality of the manufacturer. So
yeah. Did you guys see I haven't seen it, but did you guys see the Viehi crash?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a bummer.
That's the same with Ray, right? Was that Ray?
Yep. One with Ray. Yeah, he bounced off and into him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Viete. I'm happy it wasn't Ika Lukuono, because he's had a tough time, sort of like Oliveira with the crashes and the injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which is just crazy, and the amount of crashes that happened this past weekend. Right. Is that a track that these guys should want to go back to next year? Because that turn 1, I don't want to say reminds me of Loudon, but we were always worried about turn 1 at
Loudon. Wow. Yeah, that's I mean, I think it's the same for everyone though. They know the drill. They know where they're supposed to be and where they're not supposed to be. And you know what? Even knowing that, they're still fighting for the inch. And
isn't Monza the same way? They have that gnarly turn 1 where guys either blow the chicane and they go straight forward, or they make it. So
yeah,
it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I mean, I think I don't know. I think that it adds an element of excitement.
Yes.
I think I think it's good to watch that. Maybe it'll help slow some people down so they could keep the action together a little bit, but obviously not when you got two lunatics are up front.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, somebody said CMP turn 1.
Yes. Yes.
Rexy said that.
Yes, that is a oof. I always
said oof.
Yeah. Well, my last race weekend last year when I was there, it was pretty sketchy going in there, but I made up a couple spots by outbreaking some people, so I guess I'll say that. But
I mean, I think for me, club racing anyway, like gnarliest starts were back in the day when AFM had like 70 rider grids.
Yeah.
And you would go into 90-degree left turn 1, and turn 2, the off ramp turn comes real quick, and everybody kind of funnels down into this nonsense, and I posted a video one time where there was a guy that caught fire, like Back to the Future.
Wow.
Awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah, like the old AFM days were pretty legend, you know. Be cool to see that kind of attendance at the races again, you know. It's been a while. So.
Oh yeah. So there were some rumors about Honda World Superbike and all kinds of stuff with Top Rack because of the move to Honda MotoGP in 2 years and all kinds of craziness. Yeah, Bulaga going to GP.
Locatelli.
There was a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, Locatelli. That was it. Locatelli going to Ducati. That was a.
I heard BMW.
Oh, that's right, BMW. Yeah. So there's all kinds of craziness going on. So I can't wait to see how this all shakes out.
Rexy, you hear any of this crap?
I am hearing all of it as well, and it's one of those things where you don't know what to pick up, what to put down. And it doesn't, to go back to what I said earlier about what about these guys that's won titles for Ducati? Is it just a cost factor? I mean, I felt like getting rid of, and I say they got rid of Rossi, but you think about these guys that have been in MotoGP for a long period of time and stayed in it. And then now we see guys coming from Moto2 into MotoGP, and you get 1 year. And if you don't shine, you end up like Ika or Remy Gardner, some of these guys that only got 1 year in GP. So is it just a financial thing that they're saying, hey, we can save a lot of money instead of and pay these young guys or these new guys for these contracts? Rather than sticking with the status quo?
Yeah.
Is it that kind of financial thing, or is it that rider's sponsor paid for his ride and doesn't want to pay that anymore?
Well, I mean, okay, look at Honda's situation. I mean, when they came out with the new bike, who did they have on the bike? Leon Haslam and Alvaro Bautista, two very expensive dudes. Because Leon might have some money with them, but Leon was garnering some pretty serious cash back then, right?
Yeah.
Maybe $500,000, but nothing too crazy. But still, some money that came out of their budget. Then what? They get two young dudes. One guy rode a GP bike for a year, and it was not a great GP bike at the time.
Right.
And then you get Moto2 guy who, I think won like maybe 2 races, and that's it. And then his whole experience has been on Moto2. So like not a production frame, prototype frame, very stiff bike. And then you're going to this softer, gnarlier bike.
Softer, gnarlier bike with a lot of power and a lot more rider aids.
Yep. And then, a lot more rider aids, having to set up electronic strategies.
Dude, he's been doing good on those Honda guys are coming.
It's
only a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time.
I was going to say, it makes sense to stick with them because, Ika is looking really well these last couple of races. And
they've had some podiums.
He crashed out the round before, but he was moving forward. And he seemed to hold it together this past weekend and stuff like that. And I'm rooting for those guys because, they to me, they are quality riders. And, in Ika Uno's case, he's had some bad luck. And again, I don't know why KTM didn't keep him. Because I feel like he should still be in MotoGP and stuff like that. So it's
they had to make room for Baby Jeebus.
They did. Oh, he was gone way before Baby Jeebus.
I'm just talking shit.
I know, but for sure. No, he rode the KTM Moto2 bike back in the day. I think for American racing.
Oh wow.
Back in the day with Joe Roberts. Yep.
So there's some definite talent in Superbike, and
Oh yeah.
a lot of guys are getting older. Like, I mean, my question to Rex is like, who he thinks is gonna replace the guys like Bautista, like Johnny Ray when he punches out. Like who's gonna replace these guys? I guess you could say the same question applies here, right? Like who's gonna replace the Fonger, Gagne, Heron, Bobier, JD Beach? Like who's gonna replace those guys?
I would say the MotoGP riders that's coming over. I think Gardner is good. I think Equa is good as well. And we'll see who comes over from MotoGP at the end of the season as well, because it seems like in the last 3 years or so, there've been a lot more MotoGP ex-riders in World Superbike, and they seem to be the one that's rising to the top.
Right.
So I think if it's going to be somebody coming from MotoGP who, Canet, right? Because at some point, he may not be in Moto2 anymore. I think it's these young, fast guys that's going to come up. I think the hardest thing, and to figure out is, you look at, Sam Lowe's, who seems to have, photos or something on people because they stay with a seat. There's some guys that just, Anoni, he's back riding after 4 years away. I mean, come on, how many people have had to can do that and stuff like that? So, it's kind of weird because motorcycle racing, car racing, it's not about the talent. It's who you know and what kind of money you have, that kind of thing, right? So the best rider on the grid may not be the best rider.
Well,
do you think
sometimes you get money?
Do you think that sometimes that the reason why some of those GP guys, they come over to World Superbike and they're pretty successful automatically, like Petrucci kind of comes to mind, right? Is it because they are so familiar with the advanced level electronics that the World Superbike electronic stuff is pedestrian to them, whereas like a guy, for example, like we talked about on your show, what's Bradley Ray, right? Like the guy goes over, wins British Superbike, goes to World Superbike, can't figure out the electronics, sucks. It goes back to to ESP and goes back to it.
Yeah, he had a trouble last weekend,
right?
Yeah, he got all 3 races.
I think that it depends on the ride they get. I think if they were on a better team, I think they have a better shot at standing out as far as BSB guys come into World Superbike versus MotoGP guys come into World Superbike. And we'll look at Bautista is a good example of that, because in MotoGP, granted 250. Whatever, right? But like, the satellite Ducatis and Hondas and stuff like that, he struggled. You know what I'm saying? Right. And he was like, when he first came over, that he was a god that first season in World Superbike, even though he didn't win the title.
Well, they changed till the Cowie guys cried and they slowed his bike down.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's necessarily electronics, but I have to say, MotoGP is the top, right? So we have to say these guys are getting the best of everything and stuff like that. And it's not everyone that comes over do really well, because look at Tito Rebay, right? I feel bad for that guy. I mean, I felt bad for him. He's one of the few. I don't know if I'll throw Redden into this, but these guys that skipped Moto2 and jumped into GP and spent a lot of years in GP and just in the back of the pack. I was hoping that he would have done better in World Superbike than where he's at. And it seems like Tito Rebay.
Oh, Tito. Well, Tito was a Moto2 world champion, and then but he was on satellite Hondas. Like he was on the junky satellite Honda, the S.
Right.
Or the RSVS. And he rode that bike, and then he rode for Mark VDS.
Yep.
So it was just kind of like he got some bum rides, and I think he peaked at Moto2. Some guys just peak at Moto2 and that's it.
Right.
Scott Redding Was a great Moto2 rider.
Dude, what is
Almost
up
won the
with Scott
championship.
Redding?
He just, dude, I
Dude,
don't know.
that guy was a front runner in World Superbike not that long ago.
Dude,
like, he was teammates with Bautista, if I recall
and
correctly.
Chaz Davies.
And
He was teammates with Chaz Davies.
That's right. He was teammates with Chaz Davies, and like he was a murderer. And the last few years, he's just been like he walked up and switched to BMW, right? And finished, and now he's on a Ducati again, and he's still finishing where he finished before. But he's, as far as I know, he basically paid his own ride this year.
Yeah.
Like, where do you think that's gonna go?
I mean, it sounds like BMW paid for a little bit of that too, which is kind of weird. I don't know what happened to Scott Redding.
Yeah, that's right. No, he had a BMW contract that's been 2 years.
Yeah.
So when they folded the Bonovo team, he ended up swapping over to the Ducati. So I'm sure he got some money.
Bonobo or whatever. Yep. Still, right? Okay.
You know, I don't know if it's a mental thing with him. You know what I mean? Because I was rooting for him when he was in MotoGP. I mean, he rocks 45. Before I was rocking 45. Well, I don't know about that. I've been 45 for a while in my DJ career.
Tell us about your DJ career.
I don't know all the stories I could tell.
Following in the footsteps of Marco Melandri.
Yep.
Party must go on. But no, it's kind of weird to see Scott Redding because, from his social media stuff, he looks like he's locked in and engaged. But when you see the performance, he's struggling a bit, and not even a bit. He's struggling a lot because he's not, at least Anoni stepped away for 4 years and he's doing better than Redding.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I don't, I was talking to Simcoe earlier because I had him on a show that's going to air on Sunday, and we were talking about this. I don't know if it's a mental thing with him or whatever, because he should be a lot faster than he is. He should be doing a lot more than what he's doing, and he's been struggling. And because of him, Alvaro got more weight on his bike and stuff like that, and the struggles. So it seems like his, he's causing more issues with what he's saying than riding. And that's the unfortunate side with Redding, because, I think last season, I think he probably thought that he would be doing a lot better than he's doing on a Ducati. But at some point, I have to assume it's mental because he's a workout nut. So it's not a physical thing.
Well, we have an interesting theory in the comments by the Track Day Junkie. He says Redding got a girl and knocked her up. There you go. This death of all race careers.
That'll make you slow.
Not true. Calling it words.
He's
been had a baby, got faster.
I don't know. Cameron Bobier, I don't know. He's still winning with the kid. So Heron, probably better since he's got kids, right?
Yep.
So
yeah. Patrick, go make some babies, and you'll actually be faster as an expert when you become expert.
That used to be what people said though. Like, oh yeah, man, having kids, the death of the race career.
All right. So do you give Bobier a knock for not staying in Moto2 and trying to fight there, or
dude? Like if the rumors about the team he was riding for are true, I don't blame him for leaving. I mean, robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of program. Doesn't sound like a successful program recipe to me.
I think that if you're not happy in the environment, it's hard to get another ride. And when you look at what happened with Joe Roberts when he went to Italtrans after leaving a successful time in American racing, he had a horrible time there, and they had just got done winning the championship from the year before. So you think, hey, I'm jumping on a championship team. No biggie. Well, it didn't work out. And he went back to American racing, actually started doing well again, and almost won the championship last year. So, I mean, I think Scott Redding's problem is he's in the wrong environment, to be totally honest.
He needs to be back at GP.
No. I think he needs a team with somebody who knows what they're doing, like Parariba or somebody of that caliber, that can put Scott in the right window.
And take somebody's seat in MotoAmerica.
Oh, dude, Scott Redding in MotoAmerica would be him.
He needs to come over here and ride a bagger.
Yeah, dude, all the cool kids are riding the bagger, man.
Like everybody's riding baggers now. It's so
Bradley's. We got Bradley Smith and Loris Baz right on opposite ends of the paddock. You know, when they're facing each other, because Indian and Harley just want to mean mug each other from across the street. But I mean, dude, and Troy Herfoss, you got like an Australian, a Brit, and a French dude racing baggers.
Right. So you think he should come to America or go back to BSB?
Well, no, his wife's from LA, and she's got family in LA, and he spends his winters in LA, or he, bounces back and forth.
He's gonna race Formula 40 and local club races. Watch.
He's kind of a little bit. Although somebody was trying to coax Jeff to race Formula 40 at Wear a Cycle Jam this weekend, so I don't know.
Jeff May?
Yeah.
Dude, you know what? Back in the day at Chuck Walla, and I don't know, like Pridmore used to joke about racing Formula 40 just to screw with me when I was racing. He's like, that's it, Pointer. I'm gonna grit up. Like, whatever, dude.
That would be funny. Well, hey, let's talk about some World Supersport because they had some really great action.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the R9s are doing the thing.
It's not obvious, but they are doing.
Well, they're doing the thing, but the Ducati was doing pretty well too. So
this weekend it was, yeah. And then unfortunately, the guys riding the other triples were on their faces.
Tom Booth Amos and
Ben Snyder.
Ben Snyder, and then Ollie Bayless got top 9, which was
Ollie Bayless was running, dude. I think he was top 6.
He was top 6, and they got bumped to 9 on like the last lap. But my notables was Yamaha coming from 15th to 1st on race 1.
The heroes ride.
Chan On Chu obviously was riding his brains out. Another Turkish kid who's killing it and riding the piss out of that bike. And funny enough, Coratin Perolari on the Honda running in the top 6-7 was huge. I've watched that Undertale exhaust, and so he's not even a regular. He's
that weird guy on the Honda.
Yeah,
right.
I saw that Undertale exhaust. I'm like, wait, what?
Where did that thing come from?
So that dude is racing in the European Challenge Cup. So he's not even a full timer. He's only racing on European soil, and that dude's top 6-7 on a Honda.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Imagine what he would be on where he'd be if he was on a Yamaha. Right?
Okay.
No? I mean, there's a whole bunch of them near the front. I mean, some of them fall down, but they're still there. You know what I mean? So,
hey, that's your quickest way to Honda World Superbike right there.
Oh, okay.
Kick some ass on the Honda 6. Kick some ass on the Honda 600. And
you think so?
Oh yeah, man. You're in with the Jap. They're like, damn, he's running really good on that thing. What has that bike ever ridden in the top 10? Period. Since
like
Michael Vandermark. Since Michael Vandermark won the championship in 2014, or PJ in 2015. Right. I mean, come on.
I still think it's weird that Anna got a factory seat on a Honda, and to be competitive with, there's a lot of other riders that's faster than her. No disrespect to her.
Who?
Anna Carrasco.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and she, she's back in the world. Is she racing in World Supersport or just the WCR?
Yeah, just World Supersport. She's not doing the WCR this year.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, but if you look at where all the other Hondas are, the MIE Hondas are in the back.
I thought you were going to say they're in the salvage yard. It's like nobody buys those things.
No, dude, if I had some extra cash, I would call up my boy High Rev Trev, and I'd locate one of those Japanese only Honda 600s, and I'd bring one over here because you can get one pretty good.
For that kind of money, you could just buy an R9, drop it off at Attack with a check, and get the same bike that Matt Scholes is winning on.
Well, no, less money.
Probably a lot less money.
No, that Honda is Trek ready for the same price as an R9. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do anything to it.
Yeah, and I have some lakefront Palmdale property out here, if you believe that.
Hey, I mean, it's already been done. It's already been done, and it's already racing at Homestead. So I don't even know. I'll take that. I'll take that property.
You know, I thought that Mancy would have ran away with it this year.
Dude, he tossed it. Oh my gosh, did he toss it?
Is he overriding the bike?
Oh yeah, you watch how he tossed it. He just tucked the front in turn one. Just that was it. Done deal. Yep.
Yeah, is he overriding the bike, or is he just like making mistakes trying to win? You know.
Yeah.
The dude's been in the front. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. But he knows how
like
hard
Anshu,
it is.
though. Anshu is the that dude. That dude's a Moto2 guy, right? Or used to be.
No,
he was Moto3 and then came over. His brother's Moto2.
Okay.
Yeah. He won the Ricky Red Bull Cup and then did that wild card and won that race.
And then went to World Super Sport after that.
Yeah. So he's
been riding at Cali for a long time.
I know.
He's bad though. Like that dude's on the R9, and that dude is a threat to win every weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
As are the other two. The other two.
He's just getting better. He's getting better and better.
Yeah.
What happened with your boy Busthemos?
I don't know, man. He got caught up. I'm bummed. He got caught up in turn one again on race 2, and then he got stuck in the back, and then he was fighting his way towards a fifth. He was 5th at one point, and then
he'd worked his way up to 5th, and then was
and then and then the guys got him again, and then sucks. I was so pissed. I was like, come on, man.
You know, the difference between Chad Anshu's face on race 1 and race 2 is a lot different. I mean, you'd have thought he, like I said earlier, he finished last place when he got that second place in race 1.
Oh,
he was not happy.
No.
But you know, like, was it? How do you say that guy's Yamaha? I mean, Yamaha, whatever, man. So that dude was he just stalked his prey, you know. He picked people off. He moved forward when other people fell down. He kept moving forward and threw it down last lap, right? I mean,
dude, yeah,
right,
yeah, he
dude
did.
Thought he had it. He thought he had it, and then Masia was like, "Nah, dude."
Yeah, caught up to him, and that's it. Done deal.
Right?
He was pissed.
Oh,
I think those guys break their second place trophies.
Yeah,
the good, dude.
They just tossed on the ground, broke it in half, and walked away.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like maybe they're probably not breaking them. They're probably just handing them over to some kid in the crowd, right?
No, they're probably breaking.
They're giving them Michael Hill to hand out.
No,
to the fans.
No, they're pissed. They're breaking it. They're breaking it and they're tossing it in the trash.
Speaking of Michael Hill, check this out.
Oh, is that his shirt still?
Dude, I still have these, and I have them. I have a note to myself to take them with me to Road America.
Yes. Yeah, because he will be there, right?
Supposedly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I
gotta see where he's at VIR.
What are your guys' thoughts on where the factory Ducati's doing in Super Sport? Because I think he got I can't even say his last name, but he got on the podium in race 2. But it looked like Ducati's been struggling so far.
Oh,
with Philip Ertl.
Yeah.
He's not been doing good. He is not.
Yeah, I mean the Ducatis. Do you think that they just underestimated the threat of all those 3-cylinder lunatics?
Well, and I think that you got Yamaha on the back of the satellite bike, who's crushing it. You've got Marcel Schroeder on one. You got Valentin Debise on another one, like all satellite bikes, and they're all doing great. And then factory guys aren't even close.
Right? Did they get the wrong guys?
They got the wrong guys for sure. Got the wrong guys.
I mean, the factory team should have hired Debise and Masia.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
I would say that, which is unfortunate for them after what Bulaga was able to do 2 years ago.
Dude.
Was it Yuri Montella that was on last year? He was on the factory last year.
Yep. And now he's
on the Barney. Is he on the Barney this year for Ducati?
Yes.
He finished like 7th or something, race 2 or something like that.
Yep, he is on the Barney. He is teammates to Petrucci.
Yeah, so it's that's a competitive class, man. And like if you don't bring your A game, dude, like that's it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Yeah, Philip Bertle's probably getting bounced.
Yeah.
Sadly,
and it's tough because we see the Moto2 guys coming over and doing really well in super sports. So if you're coming from one of these other classes, Europe or BSB or wherever, like where do you find the motivation when you already know these guys? They already came from a stiff ass bike, so they just need a little bit of feel.
Well, you got to think like the fountain is overflowing coming through Moto3. And Moto2 is going to be all the Moto3 guys moving up to Moto2, and then you're going to have some spillover from some B and C level riders in Moto2, and they're going to jump ship and go over to World Super Sport because they'll be clamoring at getting some dudes over there, and they're going to Philip Bertle. I think he won a race in Moto3. Didn't do so well in Moto2, and dude's. He's riding pretty good. And Bo Bensnyder, another guy.
Yeah.
He is probably a C plus, B minus level rider in Moto2.
Dude, Ben Snyder
was leading the championship.
Ben Snyder was the kid that ran away with everything in rookies the year that the kid that we sent over there just got demoralized, right? It's like when G3 went over there, Gabe Hernandez, when he went over rookies, Ben Snyder was just murdering everybody.
Yeah. And then his
GP career kind of fizzled, but he's been kind of okay in super sports. Like
yeah, for sure. He's on that MV, and then when they got it running, he's doing good. It's just it's his first year and is kind of in this crowd, and he's like he doesn't know how to navigate the crowd.
Well, you better figure it out.
It's a pretty rowdy crowd.
The deep pool over there, man. Like you better figure it out.
It's like it's like stock 600 club racing, dude. It's a meat grinder.
Yeah, except these guys are like doing it for real and
like an unreal pace.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, so GP1 reported World Superbike's going to go to Michelin in 27.
What?
Could that be in response to Grand Prix racing going to Pirelli?
Pirelli?
7 maybe?
That would be a wild swap.
Yeah. When was the last time Michelin was in World Superbike? Colin Edwards, right?
Yeah. Well, on the 2002.
2 maybe 3. Yeah, because I think did they switch over in 3 maybe? Or, yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah, he won the championship on Michelin's.
They're not going to do a lot of work, is what you're saying next. I mean, what they've done with the tires in GP, I got to assume the Superbikes are not going to eat up tires the same way.
No.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Like what that does over, like the control tire thing is annoying. I wish they would get rid of that and go back to tire wars. The tire wars era was so much more, made it a different level of excitement, because like the tire brands were building crazy tires. Like if you want a spec tire, let's have each of them submit the spec tire and throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be better, but
yeah.
Sean Summers says, just make them all run DOTs.
K5s for the win.
Super courses, everybody get super courses.
Yeah, super courses versus the
Q5s.
Q5s, yeah.
And the Changshin, whatever.
And the Shinkos,
yeah. Shinkos.
Shinko class.
Dude.
Yeah.
Rough.
Man.
That's rough.
Well,
so what's the next round of racing? When's the next weekend hangover? When are we gonna do that?
Next weekend, because Silverstone's this weekend.
Dude, I'm on the road.
Okay. Well, we can bump it back a week.
Yeah, because like flying to VIR with the TAC on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're gonna be over here.
I'm gonna be over in VIR to watch this time instead of ride.
Yeah. I think Goodnight wanted to come up and watch.
Yeah, he can
not
come
far
up
away.
and hang. Dude, he can come up and hang. But I think the only people riding are going to be Bobby and Jake. Originally, it was supposed to be like we talked about. It was supposed to be like a collab track day kind of thing. And Richard's like, nope, let's just make it us.
Yeah.
On that.
And and the M4 guys aren't coming. They're not flipping up the.
Nobody's coming. Yeah.
Wow, you got VIR to yourself. That's a big check.
Yeah, Richard. Yeah, he wants to win, dude. I mean, bottom line is, so from there, like I get in the rig with I'm getting in the rig with the team driving, and I'm gonna ride in the semi from there.
Dude, you have to get video of this.
You know what?
Yes.
Like Walker's gonna be like, yeah, I don't know how the semi works.
He's floating the gear. No, he's floating the gears. He's not even using the clutch.
Yeah, whatever. So. Well, that's going to be another adventure, of course. Hopefully, if you're watching, you've already watched the Road Atlanta one.
Yeah. What a great video, by the way. It was really awesome. I thought you did a great job.
Yeah. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to share the experience with everybody and, give people a taste of a little bit of behind the scenes while also at the same time being respectful to the team. And not sharing like super duper inside baseball, just like the surface scratch stuff that's pretty cool that most people don't get to see. So
yeah, I think so. And some shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm going to Road America this time. It'll be the first time for me in cheese country.
Yeah.
At Road Atlanta, I had Ricky-Bobby take me out and introduce me to some of the fans out there that are doing stuff. And I'd like somebody to come find me and show me the nut jobs at Road America. That'd be kind of fun. So if you want to be part of that, hit me up, comment in the chat or whatever, and we'll do the thing.
I think my boy Jason Duplantis is going to be up there because he works for Millennium. Okay. So I think that because that's Millennium's home race and they do a lot of bagger stuff and hooligan stuff. So
yeah,
I'll see if I can send them your way and maybe.
So I've got that going on, and then the weekend after I get back from Road America, we're at Button Willow.
Oh yeah,
2 days.
Oh yeah, Rex, what do you got going on?
Yeah,
I got be forever cool shows and watching MotoGP this weekend. Nothing too crazy at the moment. I'm hoping. I think at the moment, like I mentioned to Dustin last week. I'll probably be out to Laguna in August to do a track day. So I'll bring out the Panigale and try to figure out my way around that track.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
That's nuts, dude. That's nuts.
That's awesome.
Are you with the podcast? Is that Bobby Shakes guy? He's like the regular producer guy on your show? What's the deal with that guy?
He's I've known Bobby Shakes for a very long time. You're talking about DJing back in the day when they, he was he's a photographer, video guy. He before I would say before YouTube, it was Bobby Shakes because he was in the dance halls catching videos and taking photos and stuff and posting it on his website and stuff like that. Wow. And we've both done radio on the same radio station in Boston. And stuff. He used to do the show at night after dark show where he'd invite ladies of the night and strippers and interview them on the show.
Ladies of the night,
stuff like that.
Next up on Weekend Hangover,
exactly. So
wow,
he's a character.
Yeah.
So it's funny because back in 2012 when I decided to get a bike, I was sitting in his living room and we were talking, saying, hey, we should get a bike. We should get bikes and stuff like that, and talking about it. And then next year I bought a Ducati and he bought a Harley. So it's like we went different ways.
You're like, wait, you didn't get the memo, bro. What are you doing?
So that dude is like, I guess you could say in the Be Forever Cool podcast, he's like the intellectual one, right? So that
Yeah.
dude goes like, he has this like quote or whatever at the bottom, and he was, it sounded political to me. I was like, what, dude? Like, who got shot? Who killed who on the Senate floor or something? And then he tied all that into people not fearing Marquez anymore. So it's like, what, dude? That's awesome.
Yeah, you just never know what's going to come out of his mouth and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And you know, he's great because it's nice, as you guys know, it's nice to have people on that can help create good content and keep it fun and entertaining and stuff like that. So and you know, he'll say it, he doesn't follow a lot of racing. He's following more racing since he's been on the show and stuff like that. But he
has to.
Yeah, so he worked at Mom's, which is the motorcycle dealership in the Northeast and stuff like that. I think they got like 6 or 8, 10 shops. It's ridiculous. So, you know, he helped create a lot of content and shot photos for those guys and stuff like that. So he rode a lot of bikes, and he like all the Harleys, the Hogs, all ape hangers and all that. He's into that world and custom bikes, and a lot of folks in the custom community and stuff like that. So so it's been really good so far. So very excited about it.
Are you going to any of the MotoAmerica races?
At the moment, I think I'm going to. So after I leave Laguna, I'm going to do in August. I'm going to do the Coda round in MotoAmerica. So I'm going to do that round and then stick around for.
You're going to Laguna in August?
Yeah.
Can you tell Ricky-Bobby about this event that you're going to in August?
It's a TrackDaz event. It's a TrackDaz event.
Oh, look at that!
You know what I'm saying? With the one and only Dustin, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, I just wanted you to rub it in there because salt in the wound, all that.
You coming out, Ricky? I mean, you're in that.
Call it sick, dude. I'll write you a note.
Oh, that's not about calling it sick. It's all about the funds.
Yeah.
Let's make it work, man.
We need some sponsors.
Exactly, but I'm hoping to do a MotoAmerica round before then.
Really?
Yeah, so we'll see. I just got to figure out scheduling and stuff like that.
I'm getting a
comment.
I'm getting a comment in the chat that says that Rex needs to do a 2-up with me.
Why not? Why not? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
We'll do it.
Throw on the GoPro and let her rip.
Oh my god.
Exactly. I won't be screaming, so don't worry.
Yeah, they all say that.
They do.
No, the thing is, like, my 2-up rides aren't that kind of ride, man. Like, I don't do those kind of rides. Like, if you want to ride like that, that's a Chris Ulrich's job, basically, right? Like, his whole gig is to like basically scare the living bejesus out of journalists to give them the vibe of what racing superbike is like, and I think Chris does a great job at that. Mine are more like instructional video, like, hey man, like, you need to use the brakes this long, right? This is where you need to be before you tip in.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Sign me up, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, don't threaten you with a good time, I guess, huh?
Yep.
No, not at all. Not at all. Don't do that.
We got to come down to.
Actually, we might have
VIR, dude.
We might have Rex do laps on our reasonably priced sport bike.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. I think Rex, you got to come down to VIR for MotoAmerica.
When is that round?
It's the weekend I'm at Buttonwillow, August.
I might be able to do that. That's just a drive.
August
Yeah,
3rd.
I can drive to Virginia in like 8 hours. So from here I am at.
Oh, jeez.
Smith Shot says he did a 2-up in Barcelona with Troy Corser, and it was insane.
Wow.
Bro, I got one too, man. I did Jersey with Scott Russell.
Oh, wow.
Bro. With the Screaming Chief himself, dude, like my childhood hero. And I was on the back, and we were absolutely murdering. It was nuts.
Like, it was like, hey, man.
Hey, man, yes, boy, we're going to throw that thing in there. That's like, just a heads up, that's my southerner shit. Right?
Do you give any tips as for the passenger before they get on?
No, we just put them on and go. No, come on, bro. Like, yeah, of course. You have to.
Yeah.
You lean your head a little bit, you know.
No,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Like, you just let me ride. You let me ride the motorcycle, and here's the things that I want from you. That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. And this is your tap out signal, right?
How often do you get that?
Mhm.
Every now and then. Oddly enough, it's usually the tap outs are not the females. It's dudes. They're like, and then they come off and they're like, my hands are like,
That's
How
like
many
I was
laps?
holding on for everything I've got.
That's funny.
How many laps do you do?
Usually it's 3.
Okay.
Usually it's like an out lap, a heater, and then an in lap. And like depending on how the person feels on the back, that'll determine how spirited the ride goes.
Oh.
Center of the seat, not hanging off, not trying to drag elbow with the passenger, none of that stuff. Yeah, see, Sean's talking about
Yeah.
Podium Club in the chat.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
And Ricky-Bobby, I think you got to punch out tonight, so I think we're going to end
Yeah.
the show a little earlier than we normally do.
Yeah. Yeah. Ricky
And
Bobby's got a
no,
long drive in the
Sean
morning.
Summers, we are not going to ask that question. It's
Yeah.
not happening.
Oh, Sean. Sean.
But we did talk about it collectively offline. So
Yep.
and there goes the kid that bought he bought our R7 a couple years ago.
Oh, that just drove by?
Yeah.
Nice.
Good times.
Awesome.
All right, you guys. Well,
Yeah,
good show,
great
Rex.
show.
Thanks for joining us on
Thanks,
this endeavor. Swapping podcasts.
No
You
doubt.
read the chat, dude?
Say it one more time.
Are you reading the chat?
I am reading the chat. That's what have
I
me.
can see.
I was like, no, that's not gonna happen, guys. So, no.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? Thanks for jumping in with this
Yeah,
thing.
man.
And
I appreciate it, man.
final
Anytime,
thoughts?
guys.
Final thoughts from Rex?
Final thoughts. Pecco Bagnaia will win this weekend.
Whoa.
The gauntlet has been thrown. We're going to talk shit about you on our show if you get it wrong.
Part of the
You're
job.
like, yeah,
getting it
dude,
wrong,
Rex,
you know?
bro. Your team Pecco, then I take it.
Yeah.
I'm more team loyalty in the sense that, like, the guy won 2 titles with you guys, and Casey was the first who did it however long before. Just show a little bit more love.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's still having the best season of his career.
Is he?
Yeah. Only 1 crash so far this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't agree that he's going to win, but I mean, stranger things have happened,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
right on. Well, you know what, everybody? I hope you guys had fun in the chat. Ricky-Bobby, you wanna sign off on this thing and
Mash all the buttons,
please mash all the
everybody.
buttons, like and
Yes.
subscribe and all that.
All that fun stuff.
And for everybody going to Wear a Cycle Jam this weekend, pin it.
Well, there you go.